everyone, welcome back to my channel. Did you know that October is Positive Attitude Month? Yeah, I didn't either. But once I discovered it, I thought this was the perfect opportunity for me to share some picture books with you that you can use to talk about having a positive attitude and being happy with your students in the classroom. And I think it's important to touch upon the fact that we're not always going to have a positive attitude. We're not always going to be happy, and that's okay. But when we have a negative attitude more often than a positive attitude, that's when we need to step back and think about things and what we can do to change that and to make things a little bit happier in our lives. And it can be kind of a tricky concept to share with students, so that's why I think bringing in picture books will be really helpful for you to teach this concept to your students. The first book that I have is called Terrific. This one is written by John Agee. In this book, Eugene has a bad attitude. He just won a cruise to a tropical island, and he says, "Terrific, I'll probably get a sunburn." After this boat sinks, however, Eugene finds himself stranded on a deserted island. He meets a parrot on this island, and this parrot kind of gives back to him on his negative attitude. And they go back and forth, and every time Eugene mutters his terrific word as a comeback for whatever the parrot has to say. The parrot finally convinces him to build a boat and get himself off the island. And in that way, they run into a fisherman that the parrot knows. And in the end, Eugene finds himself defending his parrot friend. This is a great book to talk about turning around that negative attitude and to see the positive in things. The next book that I have is Daniel's Good Day by Misha Archer. And this is such a sweet book. This young boy, Daniel, walks through his neighborhood, stopping along the way to ask all his neighbors and friends what it means to them to have a good day. So for example, the gardener tells him it's a good day when the bees come to visit. His friend tells him it's a good day when there's a strong enough wind to fly her kite. And the overall positive message in this book will really inspire your students to find those happy things throughout their day, those good things that will improve their attitude and just a feel-good book overall. So this is a good one to point out when students are feeling sad or like everything is going wrong, to find those small things in life that they are thankful for, that they are grateful for, the things that make them have a good day. And it'll spark some good conversations with your students, and as they talk about what a good day to them means, what does each one of them find to be a good day. A good book for having a positive attitude. The next one I know I've talked about on this channel before, The Magical Yet by Angela DiTerlizzi. And this one talks about how when we're trying new things, they can be tricky, they can be difficult, but it's just because we haven't gotten it yet. Instead of saying, I can't do this, it's, I can't do it yet. I'm going to keep trying. I will get there. So again, when we have that negative attitude, or when your students have that negative attitude, when they're feeling frustrated that they can't do something, this is a good reminder that they can't do it yet, that they're going to get there, that they're going to keep working and trying hard until they eventually can do something. Another great picture book read aloud for helping students develop a positive attitude. The next book that I have talking about happiness and having a positive attitude is called Rain, and this one's by Linda Ashman. This one really contrasts the idea of a positive attitude with a really grumpy one. So in the story, it starts to rain, and an older gentleman complains that it's raining again and it's wet out, but then a young boy comes in and says, "Oh, it's raining, I get to go splash in the puddles, this is the best day ever." And these two meet, and in a fun exchange, the boy is able to turn the man's frown upside down. It's a little bit of a cliche to have the grumpy old man in the story, and we talk about how you can talk about how all of us have those grumpy days, especially when the weather is involved, but that we can turn those frowns upside down with the help of friends or those who do have that more positive attitude. And you can even talk with your students about how if they see someone who's having a bad day, what can they do to cheer them up to make them happier? Next, we have Augustus and His Smile. This one's by Catherine Rayner. In this book, Augustus the tiger has lost his smile. He's really sad, so he decides to search for it far and wide. And what Augustus finally realizes that in order to find his smile, all he needs to do is find things that make him happy. So I think this would make a good conversation along with the Daniel's Good Day book, talking about what are things that make your students happy. When they're having a bad day, what can they do that they enjoy that will bring their mood up, that will uplift them? Or what do they know that their friends like, and how can they help their friends have a happier day when they're feeling sad? So another great book about having a positive attitude, but also finding your happiness as well. Next, I have the book Happy Right Now by Julie Berry. And this is kind of what I talked about at the beginning of the video, how it's okay that we don't always have a positive attitude. It's okay that we're not always happy. And that's kind of what you'll find in this picture book. The author explores that it's okay to not always feel okay. And in it, she provides strategies to really navigate those emotions and to find those moments of joy and positivity in all situations. And it really encourages students to appreciate what they have and to live in the moment and to feel those feelings. So even though they're not always going to be positive, they're not always going to be happy, it's okay to feel those feelings, and it's important for us to feel those feelings as well. And I think it's important that when we have these conversations that we balance both of those things as well. And the last one that I have is Leilas Happiness. And this story, again, talks about finding those little bits of happy in everyday moments in our lives, and to look for those moments and those things that make us happy throughout our day, whether it's your favorite color, or snuggling up with a family member, or talking with a neighbor, somebody in the community. Again, spark that conversation with your students about what are those small things every day that make them happy, and point those out, because sometimes I feel like our lives are rushing by, even for kids, that they don't stop and appreciate those little things, and that those are the things that are really important, that really help us to be happy and develop that positive attitude. So that is my collection of books for Positivity or Positive Attitude Month. I believe that's the phrase it is, for the month of October, where you can discuss with your students having a positive attitude and being happy, and what are the things that make them happy, which I think is an important SEL concept to be discussing with them. And if you are looking for more social emotional learning resources, I have a huge collection of lesson plans to go along with picture books in the Colorful Apple Book Club. I'll leave a link to that in the description box down below. But you can, in the book club, I think we have almost 200 resources now for lessons that go along with picture books. So if there's a certain topic that you're teaching in SEL or in social studies or science, reading or writing, I have a lesson to go along with a specific book, because I know sometimes it's hard to choose a book that fits the certain topic you're teaching. And so I've picked out the book for you. I've come up with the discussion questions, the vocabulary for you. I've created the activity sheets and the follow-up activities, such as a craftivity or a game or task cards. And you don't need to do all of it, but you have a lot of resources right at your fingertips when you need them. You just go right into the library, look for what you need, download it, and you're ready to go. You read the book and you have that whole lesson plan ready for you to go to teach your students these important concepts. I will also leave all of the links to the books that I mentioned in the description box down below, so that you can grab them to use in your classroom, either during the month of October or any time during the year. If this video was helpful for you, please give it a thumbs up. Hit that red subscribe button, as well as a notification bell, so that you don't miss a video. I have them coming out every Monday morning, so that you can add new picture books and find new ways to teach things with picture books in your classroom. Have a great week.